Hi, in this video I would like to talk really briefly, sorry, let me just clear this whiteboard. Um, but I would like to talk about Old English. So, let me lock this. So we're going to go over what it is, where it comes from, so England, but sort of. uh, sorry. We're also going to talk a little bit about what you want to know if you're going to learn it. So Old English is also called Anglo-Saxon. So people from essentially what is modern day Germany. One of those places was called Saxony, and one of the groups was called the Angles. So they came over to England around the 5th century, and they stayed until essentially, well, they've stayed until now, but they stayed speaking essentially the same language until the 11th century. When they came over, they were pagans, and they converted to Christianity while they were in England, and they, to some degree, mixed with the surrounding population, who were of Celtic origin, spoke Celtic languages. They also sort of pushed them into different areas, for example, Wales, up north to Scotland, and then the Irish stayed in Ireland. But they're all related peoples, and their language and culture we referred to as Anglo-Saxon culture, Anglo-Saxon language. It's related to modern day German, for example. It has a lot of similar inflections in the words, so word endings, for example. It's also related to languages like Dutch, Icelandic, Old Norse, things like that. A lot of people also tend to think that Old English is just sort of um, what is actually early modern English, like Shakespeare English. It's actually not. It's a different language. So, for example, if I were to write an Old English word here, what? This is an Old English word, and you might think, well, I don't know exactly what that means. The beginning to one Old English poem is Oft Himan Haga. Another one, Beowulf, which you've probably heard of, is Hatwe Gardena. So it's actually quite different enough to where it's not mutually intelligible with modern English. And it went like this. It was the Old English period. Oh, sorry. And then we had our Middle English and then early modern English period. So keep that in mind as we're learning Old English. Lots of things you'll be able to read, not Shakespeare. It won't necessarily help you with Shakespeare, but we will be reading things. We could read things like Beowulf, The Wanderer, other Old English poetry, Cadman's Hymn, things like that. So there's quite a bit you can read and learn about, both in poetry and in prose. However, keep in mind it is learning a different language. So